From the streets of Amber, across the deep blue sea, a message for the children, for you and for me. Obinwannem is calling, can you hear the sound? The roots of our fathers are being found. We know they forget where we come from. The strength of a lion, the beat of the drum. Ofu Obi, one heart. Obinwannem, united we achieve. Ofu Obi, restoring the culture, that's what we believe. From the Ordinala to the Azusu we speak, lifting the fallen, helping the weak. Obinwannem worldwide, the movement is here. Umo global, raise your head high, raise your head high. Our men will never, ever die, ever die. It's more than a page, it's a spiritual home. No matter how far in this world you roam, we're bringing back the wisdom, the tradition, the grace, putting the smile back on the Igbo face. A high energy. Follow the way, Obinwannem is leading the day. Keep the fire burning, keep the language strong. This is where we all belong.
Again it fades out with a final celebration.
Obinwannem Global Radio, promoting the culture and traditions of Igbo nation.
Ụmụ Igbo, ọ bụrụ na ị na-ege anyị ntị n'onu ma na-ekiri ozi ọma nke anyị na-ewetara unu na ozi ndụmọdụ na ịgbazi ọnụ nke anyị na-ewetara unu, biko ka ị na-esonyere anyị na YouTube, na-esonyekwara anyị na Instagram maọbụ na Twitter maọbụ na Facebook na na webụsaịtị nke ndị Obinwannem, ka anyị wee na-ezinye abụ ozi ka o si wee kwesị dị na-adị, maka na oge erugo mgbe anyị ga-ebupụta ihe nke njirimara Igbo na asụsụ Igbo na omenala Igbo na ihe gbasara ndị Igbo niile n'ụwa niile, ọ kacha ihe anyị na-achọ bụ Biafra. Ị ga na-afụkwanye abụ ozi ka ọ ga na-abịa, ị na-esonyere anyị, ị ga na-ama mgbe anyị tụpụtara gị ozi nke dị mkpa ị ya mara, ma wee marakwa ị ga-eme ngwa ngwa ka emeghara ọdachi.
Ọma ugbu a Chukwu m na-akpọkwa ka m na-akpọ anwachi Igbo ga-adịkwana onwe iberibe aha bekee butere anyị, Chineke ekwere ka anyị na-ebu ya. Anyị ga-anọ n'omenala anyị, bekee nọ na nke ha. Ụmụ anyị ga-agụta akwụkwọ bekee, gụta nke Igbo. Onye ya agwa nwanne ekwu ya bụrụ n'Igbo gwa ha, aja agwakwa ndị bekee were onu bekee gwa ha, aja obodo na ha n'Igbo were onu bekee gwa ha. Ọ bụ onye hụ nwanne ya asị fere onye hụ nwanne ya fere ndị Hausa anaghị asịrị ibe ha, Yoruba anaghị asịrị ibe ha, ebere ndị River na ndị ọzọ anaghị asịrị ibe ha. Bọta ọ bụrụ ndị Igbo fere ịma onye na-asịrị ọnụ ihe kwuru ma ọnụ. Chukwu ana m yọgụ ka omenala Igbo mụmụ ichie ụmụnna bụ ike na-akwado m ekwadochie ike ka ihe Igbo na-aga ọfọ aga echiri kwesịrị. Ugbu a ihe anyị nọbụ agụcha n'ọjọọ ọwụwa ya. N'ime ọwụwa ya achọrọ m ka Igbo niile, Igbo gburugburu bịa kwado ọmarịcha Igbo ka ọ na-aga n'ihu. Nwa ndị n'ime ha nọ ndị na-ana bekee ndị nọ na Igbo ndị n'Igbo ọbụla ha nọ na Naịjirịa ka ha kwado omenala Igbo achọkwana ka obodo ọzọ ghara ewere ọmarịcha Igbo omenala anyị ka omenala anyị na-aga n'ihu anyị zadoro ụkwụ ụwa n'Igbo ihe anyị na-ekwe n'aha n'Igbo ọmarịcha Igbo bịa taa na ọjị ma ndị nwụrụ anwụ ma ndị dị ndụ bịa taa na ọjị ihe unu ga-akwado omenala Igbo mụ na onwe m kwadokwa nke omenala Igbo na ọmarịcha Igbo gaa n'ihu Igbo mmamanya Igbo mmamanya Igbo a
I am the managing director of Owix and Obix Nigerian Limited. For years, I have worked hard to secure a $64 million international contract. A deal that would have changed not just my life, but created opportunities for many Nigerians. The contract was signed and the funds secured by LC were sent through Zenith Bank, Nigerian PLC, after an agreement between my company and Zenith Bank as a paymaster for the guaranteed contract. But shortly after the secured funds arrived, the unexpected happened. The bank began to make new financial demands that were never part of our original agreement. When I refused to grant those demands, everything changed. The contract, which had a strict liability clause, was suddenly terminated by breach of LC confirmation by Zenith Bank after receiving payments which it deducted from the company account. It refused to confirm, and funds belonging to the company, which was entrusted to the bank, suddenly disappeared, unaccounted for, and years of effort collapsed overnight, automatically activating the liability clause of the contract. I have reached out privately for resolution. I have contacted lawyers, human rights advocates, and even the authorities, but no one has been willing to take this matter seriously. So I am speaking out today, not just for myself, but for every Nigerian who has ever been silenced by a systematic curiosity system, by powerful institutions, where all they wanted was fairness and justice. I don't seek pity, I seek accountability. I believe that the truth deserves to be heard, and I'll continue to speak up until justice is done. In a series of upcoming videos, I will present clear and undeniable evidence of what transpired.
His Royal Highness Igwe Dr. Ambassador Patrick Okechukwu Eze one Okparano Ancient Kingdom Eze Igwe one of Nsukka akwado n'ụzọ narị kwuru narị maka na egwu ọzọ anyị na-aga na chọọchị anyị na-achọzi ndị ụka anyị ewefere ntọ n'ala anyị wefere ogige ala mụna owechite ogige ala ọ ji azụ mma n'ụtụtụ redio ya n'okwu ụwa tụwa ụmụ anyị ama amaghị ebe ogige a ya bụ na akwado sie n'ike ebe ọ bụ na uje kpọọ m na aga na baka na station na na-ekwu ụwa na-anụ olu m ya ha mbụ Chukwu nwa eze Igwe Chukwu nwa eze akwa ekele anyị tọkwara ịmata ihe nwere ike ịgwa anyị gbasara ihe a na obodo ga-eme anyị anaghị ere ala ere Chukwu na ya dị n'egwu na nkịtị nwere ebe anyị ekoro Chukwu ala ego mana ọ bụ maka oke ọchịchị dọkịta bụ maka na-eji ere na ala ewetara ọha onye ka obi sọsọ eje bururu anọ ọ bụ arụ ọ jọrọ njọ mana ihe na-ekwu ya bụ ọ nwere ihe a na-arụ akọzi ijere ere ala abụghị ha na-ere ere n'ọbụ emechaa hapụrụ iwe ụmụ ma nna nna anyị ọ bụla ha rere onwere ka anyị ga-ekwuru ọ ji dọkịta oke ọchịchị chọrọ na-eze ya ka nna asị ndị na-achị anyị ha kwere ka ndị eze bịa na ọchịchị gọọmenti Naịjirịa ọ bụ na anyị bụ ndị eze na-abịa nso ụmụ mpụ niile a na-eme ga-akwụsị mana ha kwere ndị politiks na-ebuga anyị mebie obodo anyị ọdụ ọzọ ụfọdụ mana etu nweta omenala nnekwe ma ndị ụka ewechitego omenala maka ụka agbariko a na-enwe ma nke a ma n'ụlọ ụka ha ebujo ile anya na anya anọ oriri n'otu akụkọrọbụ egwu omenala ka eji ana nri echirisi na omenala na-echeta isi na ike na anyị kwadoro mkparịsị abịa na omenala ị na-asa arụsị enwere ihe bụ arụsị n'asụsụ na mgbe ekwu ọtụtụ mgbe arụkwụsị gị ekita okwụsị ndị ya ka enwere ihe bụ arụsị ya bụrụ onwe ihe ndị Igbo na-eme na-adịghị ọyị ka ihe a na-eme kirikiri nkịta na-ezu ori mmadụ na-egbu mmadụ oge gboo na-ezu mmadụ ada-egbu ọbụ ezu ree ndị ọcha mana nkịta bụ ezu egbue mmadụ na-ere na paasị ka moto ọ bụ ihe dị mma arụbụ ya so ihe m nọba arụ ekele m
To the brave youth of Africa, to my fellow leaders, to the heart of our continent, our communities, and to every African living across the world, this message is for you. Africa is not poor. We have been made to believe we are poor. But the truth is, Africa is the richest continent on earth. We have what the world dreams, like gold, diamonds, oil, fertile land, clean water, 12 hours of sunlight every day, and ecosystems full of life. Yet, our people suffer in poverty, our children go hungry, and our youth leave home. Searching for dignity abroad. This must end. We have 54 independent countries in Africa. That means we have 54 presidents, 54 governments, 54 flags. I swear to Allah, if we unite, there is no force on earth that can stop us. Not one. To my African brothers and sisters, freedom is not just a flag or a national anthem. Freedom means building our own roads, controlling our own resources, teaching our own history, and shaping our own future. For too long, others have used what belongs to us to grow rich. They take our minerals to power their industries. Our cocoa makes their chocolate, our oil fuels their cars. Yet our people walk miles for water. Our farmers struggle while foreign companies harvest our land. To the youth of Africa, you are not just the future, you are the present. You are the energy, the voice, the courage that this continent needs. Rise with knowledge, with skills, with love for your land. Do not be ashamed to be African. Be proud, be bold, be ready to defend what is yours, not with hate, but with purpose. To African leaders, I speak with respect and humility. Alone, I can only do something, but together, we can change everything. I need you to be my shoulders, and I will be yours. Let us stop waiting for solutions from those who benefit from our problems. Let us create our own path with African unity, African pride, and African solutions. To the businessmen and investors of Africa, especially those living abroad, come home, believe in this continent, build your companies here, create jobs here, and develop your land. Let me joke a little with my wealthy brothers and sisters who live in the West. You spend your life, your time, your money to build beautiful cities in other countries. You make their economies grow. But when death comes near, you say, please bury me in my country. My dear brother, listen to me very well. Africa is not a graveyard. It is a land to live in, to grow in, and to build in. To the African community, let's support our own. Let's buy from African farmers, work with African hands, invest in African talents. We must stop waiting for help. We must help each other. From Cape Town to Cairo, from Dakar to Djibouti, we are one family. Divided, we are weak, but united, we are unstoppable. Africa does not lack brains. It does not lack ideas. It does not lack courage. What Africa needs is unity. Real unity, not in speeches, but in action. We must trade with each other, teach each other, defend each other, and love each other. I am not perfect. I am not a prophet. I am just a man who refuses to see his people suffer in silence. If they try to kill me for speaking the truth, Let them try. But the voice of truth will not die. I do not fear death. I fear watching Africa sleep while others build empires on our backs. Let the world know this. Africa is awake. We are rising, not to beg, not to borrow, but to build. With our hands, with our minds, with our hearts. The journey is long, but the time is now. May Allah protect our people, and may the spirit of Africa never fade.
In Afro trap, hip hop, heavy 808 bass, traditional Igbo Oja flute samples, Ovena Mali route, for crack style, Igbo Okechukwu. He saw it before it happened. Listen, check it.
Yo, they say, giddy giddy bubweze, that's the power of the pack. If we're moving as a unit, there's no turning back. From the red mud or the east, where the ancestors tread, to the cold streets of Hamburg, where the hustle is fed. We carry heritage like gold, diamond crusted in our soul. Mazi Okechukwu took the vision, took control. He planted seeds in the soil while the world was asleep. Now the roots are going global and the promises we keep. Obinwannem.
The heart of a Obinwannem. We don't forsake one another.
From the homeland to the world, can you hear the call?
Together we achieve, homie, we shall never fall.
Yeah, join the movement, watch the legacy grow.
Obinwannem, Obi where we go.
Azunwa nunu na guyari, yo we feed our own. Building empires of silver, but we carved out of stone. Onya jana one ya, that's the code, that's the law. We pick a brother up the moment that we see a flaw. Go. Our language is the crown and the culture is the throne. Through the foundation, the seeds of the future are sown. No more walking in the shadows, no more feeling alone. Obinwannem is the bridge that is bringing us home.
Obinwannem, that's the heart of a Obinwannem. We don't forsake one another.
From the homeland to the world, can you hear the call?
Together we achieve, homie, we shall never fall.
Yeah, join the movement, watch the legacy grow.
Obinwannem, everywhere we go.
Get it right. You can't cover up the sun, you can't block out the light. From the branch to the root, yeah, we need every hand to protect the traditions and the soul of the land. Mazi Okechukwu, yeah, he's the engine, he's the drive, keeping the spirit of the Igbos alive.
Together we achieve.
Say it loud.
Together we achieve.
Make us proud. Igbo Gadi, Obinwannem, the Igbo Global Foundation. East, West, North, South, we're everywhere.
Mazi Okechukwu, Ijele Gaga. Every time we go. Together we achieve, homie, we shall never fall. Together we achieve.
Say it loud.
Together we achieve.
Make us proud.
Together we achieve.
Watch the legacy grow.
Together we achieve.
Igbo Gadi,
Obinwannem.
in the Igbo Global Foundation. East, West, North, South, we're everywhere. Mazi Okechukwu, Ijele Gaga. The giant is moving. Together we achieve.
Hard hitting Afro trap, hip hop, heavy 808 bass, traditional Igbo Oja flute samples, Ovena Mali route, for crack style, Igbo Okechukwu. He saw it before it happened. Listen,
Check it. Yo, they say, giddy giddy bubweze, that's the power of the pack. If we're moving as a unit, there's no turning back. From the red mud or the east, where the ancestors tread, to the cold streets of Hamburg, where the hustle is fed. We carry heritage like gold, diamond crusted in our soul. Mazi Okechukwu took the vision, took control. He planted seeds in the soil while the world sleep. Now the roots are going global and the promises we keep. Obinwannem, that's the heart of our Obinwannem. We don't forsake one another. From the homeland to the world, can you hear the call? Together we achieve, homie, we shall never fall. Yeah, join the movement, watch the legacy grow. Obinwannem, where we go. Azunwa nunu na guyanri, yo, we feed our own. Building empires of silver, but we carved out of stone. Onya jana one ya, that's the code, that's the law. We pick a brother up the moment that we see a flaw. Go! Our language is the crown and the culture is the throne. Through the foundation, the seeds of the future are sown. No more walking in the shadows, no more feeling alone. Obinwannem is the bridge that is bringing us home. Obinwannem, that's the heart of our Obinwannem. We don't forsake one another. From the homeland to the world, can you hear the call? Together we achieve, homie, we shall never fall. Yeah, join the movement, watch the legacy grow. Obinwannem, everywhere we go. Get it right. You can't cover up the sun, you can't block out the light. From the branch to the root, yeah, we need every hand to protect the traditions and the soul of the land. Mazi Okechukwu, yeah, he's the engine, he's the drive, keeping the spirit of the Igbos alive. Together we achieve. Say it loud. Together we achieve. Make us proud. Igbo Gadi, Obinwannem, the Igbo Global Foundation. East, West, North, South, we're everywhere. Mazi Okechukwu, Gaga. There we go. Together we achieve, homie, we shall never fall. Together we achieve. Say it loud. Together we achieve. Make us proud. Together we achieve. Watch the legacy grow. Together we achieve. Igbo Gadi, Obinwannem, Igbo Global Foundation. East, West, North, South, we're everywhere. Mazi Okechukwu, Gaga. The giant is moving. Together we achieve.
Igbo bi Igbo, ekele mono. Ife na-achọ ya unu tata bụ na biko invest in the southeast. Invest ya no na southeast ka o wee dịla anyị na mma. O nwegasị ọtụtụ ife dị iche iche anyị need n'ala Igbo. We need TV stations n'ala Igbo, international TV stations. We need radio stations, big radio stations. We need more cinemas. I'm an with cinema, but we need more cinemas everywhere, so that our entertainment industry will be bubbling. We need more libraries everywhere, every nook, every corner, more libraries. We need leisure parks. We need transport systems. We need factories, industries, companies everywhere. We need train stations. We need modern facilities, reconstruction of old buildings, good transport systems, good roads, malls. We need big arena for concerts. We need big stadium, international stadiums. We need technology hubs, tech hubs, n'ala Igbo. We also need modern bridges and tunnels, modern ones. Igbo, let's focus on developing the southeast, because at the end of the day, no place like home. No place like home. Ala Igbo bubani. Let us invest n'ala Igbo. Dela our future generation nama, our children nama.
Ụmụ Igbo, ọ bụrụ na ị na-ege anyị ntị n'onu ma na-ekiri ozi ọma nke anyị na-ewetara unu na ozi ndụmọdụ na ịgbazi ọnụ nke anyị na-ewetara unu, biko ka ị na-esonyere anyị na YouTube, na-esonyekwara anyị na Instagram maọbụ na Twitter maọbụ na Facebook na webụsaịtị nke ndị Obinwannem, ka anyị wee na-ezinye abụ ozi ka o si wee kwesị dị na-adị, maka na oge erugo mgbe anyị ga-ebupụta ihe nke njirimara Igbo na asụsụ Igbo na omenala Igbo na ihe gbasara ndị Igbo niile n'ụwa niile, ọ kacha ihe anyị na-achọ bụ Biafra. ị ga na-afụkwanye bụ ozi ka ọ ga na-abịa. Ị na-esonyere anyị, ị ga na-ama mgbe anyị tụpụtara gị ozi nke dị mkpa iyi amara, ma wee marakwa ị ga-eme ngwa ngwa ka emeghara ọdachi.
Is he shameless irredentist? Does that statement require further adumbration? That man has already established the fact of his uselessness before he died.
Uselessness?
Complete uselessness, unless you are talking to the ruination of Nigeria.
Nigeria's president from 2015 to 2023.
The tragedy that befell Nigeria. Buhari was a tragedy, an unmitigated tragedy. That man destroyed every illusion of a united Nigeria. A man that looked at an entire region and described them as a dot in the circle. A man that was so completely prebendal that he thought nothing, just like the current affliction that is in Aso Rock. He thought nothing of making everybody in a circle Fulanis. In a multi-ethnic, multi-religious country, he sat down and superintended the handing over of the country to a Muslim ticket in this country. Look, Buhari, may we never see his like again in this country, because nobody has been more ruinous to Nigeria than that guy, unless we are beginning to factor in the reign of Bulaba. They are cut from the same cloth.
The reign of who?
Bulaba, Bala Blue. I am very deliberate about ridiculing our leaders or rulers. I am very, very deliberate about it.
What does Bulaba mean?
He is the one that should be answering that question. Wasn't he the one that said Bala Blue, Bulaba, blue, blue, blue?
Can you give meaning to those words?
He's the only one who will give meaning. No, I don't know what he meant. He was speaking esoteric languages.
Yes, esoteric languages can be powerful.
But he's the only one who can give you the interpretation. I found no dictionary where I can find the meaning of Bala Blue, 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 blah, blue, blah, blue.
From the sound, can we give it meaning?
I am not sure I am able to do that, but what I do know is that it sounds quite comical. So when I feel like laughing, I remind myself that I'm being ruled by Bala Blue, Bulaba.
You said he's an affliction.
Which one of them? Buhari or Tinubu?
Tinubu?
Look, every ruler of Nigeria is an affliction to the Nigerian. What have they brought to relieve the condition of the Nigerian?
There are times I think you should be president.
I think at some point, I might get crazy enough to think I will do it.
We don't want you to be crazy.
You actually have to be crazy to do anything in this country.
Igbo Ndabi ekene munu. Igbo Delta State ekene munu. Igbo Rivers ekene munu. Igbo niile Igbo gburugburu ekene munu.
So ihe anyị ji bịa ebe a ka anyị gwa ndị Igbo bụ ofu ka Igbo bịakọta ọnụ. Ihe anyị na-ede n'ọnụ maka na ihe atọghị alị wa akpa alị dị mma. Ya dị si na-elicha akpụkpa ma.
Dọkịta ebe a gagoro asị m ka ọ dịkwara anyị ma dịrị ha nwe mma.
Anụ ka nkwa ndị ka anyị lezi anya.
With different dialects, one language and one culture, the Igbo, one of the major tribes in Nigeria, are in the southeast, south-south and north-central regions of the country. The regional and state divides have made it difficult for the Igbo to work together to achieve common goal. Worried by this scenario, an Igbo socio-cultural organization with the name Unify Igbo Now convened a conference in Asaba, Delta State capital.
Once I traveled from Onitsha to Asaba on the Niger Bridge, I could feel how our ancestors crossed each side to build another settlement. And I said to myself, if the river wasn't a barrier to our ancestors, why us? Why would we be demarcated by artificial nomenclature like Southeast, South-South, and North-Central? I bet people who weren't deterred by natural barriers wouldn't be caged and divided by artificial ones. To unify with our brothers and sisters across Niger and fashion one Igbo family has been the battles of our ancestors. And as the river flows, so shall the unity flow with it. But one way to achieve this is by listening and answering the calls of our ancestors.
The group says it is disturbing that Igbo-speaking communities have forgotten that before the regional demarcations done by the colonial masters, the Igbo people have existed as one tribe with one culture.
Deny and Igbo kpọrọ deny na ma boro ịdị n'etiti Igbo niile. Ojebo na ịbịa na Nigeria taa. Achị ikewu ihe ya abịara Igbo ebe ọ dị mma. Eno ka a na-asị na Anambra, Imo, Abia, Ebonyi na Enugu so ha nwawu ndị Igbo enwe na Nigeria. Ije na news house eno ka a na-asụ mainstream Igbo. Asụsụ a niile ọ dị deceptive. Eji wee wete system a na-akpọ divide and rule. Ka iwepụ ya n'ime anyị ka iwe ike na-afụ onwe anyị asị nwanne. A na-asị mainstream Igbo. Igbo bụ Igbo, nwere Igbo karịa Igbo. Igbo niile bụ gịnị? Igbo.
Amazina ka ọ ga-esebe na ndị nke anyị ga-asịzi na anyị bụzi na ndị Igbo. Anyị na Igbo bụ ofu. Ọ dị dịka ile na eze ya ma nwee ike wepụ nwa na-abịa n'ime ọnụ. N'ọka anyị na ndị Igbo si dị. Enwe m ụmụnne na Mbaise. Ikwu a ga-eji na-aza ụbụlụ wee na-azazi maka onuwe asụ ụvụrụ. Enwe m ụmụnne na Ebonyi steeti wee na-azazi ụbụrụ. Anyị nwa na-akpụ ụbụlụ. Mana enye niile chani ofu ụbụlụ tri nwa mkpụ afa ka ọ bụ. Ya ka anyị niile chasi buni.
This one is not real Igbo. This one is fake Igbo. I'm pleading this medium for everybody to please, when you see a banker man, recognize him as a full Igbo person.
Anya bogita na ka ejikọ ọnụ. Onweghị etu anyị ga-esi ga-enwe prosperity na ya ejikọ ọnụ na gịnị na omenala.
We are out to partner with them, to partner with you, to partner with every other Igbo organizations. Name of ma. Maka na ọ dịleba anyị mma, ọ dịla anyị ncha niile mma.
If you don't know your culture, you are a fulefu, as the Igbo people say. More than one nasu Igbo fuma. Maka na you've been in Nsukka for a very long time. So you have to look at your culture very well and try to identify yourself. Onye na-enwere identity, onye a nara ana.
The conference was attended by members of Igbo-speaking communities in Kogi State, Edo State, Rivers State, Cross River State, as well as Igbo-dominant states of Delta, Anambra, Enugu, Imo, Abia, and Ebonyi states.
When I want the Igbo biko, no die no ta. When you go no don't I na no egwu egwu. Sie je nke ta wo egwu egwu. Onye ara ho no ra maka ọ no da no ta. Onye ma ihe ọ ga-etinye n'ọnọdụ a etinye. Onye egburu maka ọnọdụ a ọ ga-eje n'igwe ọ ga-eje ọkụ mmụọ. Maka ọ ka e wee mee ka Igbo bụrụ otu. Maka tribes ndị ọzọ bụ otu. Anyị ga-abụkwu n'otu.
This conference is meant to unify, first of all, with the proponents, people who are especially from the identity affected areas. in Igbo land. We're talking about the Ukwani, the Ikwere, the Echioba, Ika, Ibanke, and the rest of them. So in order to have an agreement, in order to work together for the interest of the unification of Ndibo.
The reason why we are doing this to make sure that Ndibo are together to defeat our political wars, to defeat the identity crisis that has been with us from onset.
Highlight of the conference was the conferment of chieftaincy title to the conveners of the conference. The group later paid a condolence visit to the palace of Asabe of Asaba over the demise of the monarch. I am the managing director of Owix and Obix Nigerian Limited. For years, I have worked hard to secure a $64 million international contract. A deal that would have changed not just my life, but created opportunities for many Nigerians. The contract was signed and the funds secured by LC were sent through Zenith Bank, Nigerian PLC, after an agreement between my company and Zenith Bank as a paymaster for the guaranteed contract. But shortly after the secured funds arrived, the unexpected happened. The bank began to make new financial demands that were never part of our original agreement. When I refused to grant those demands, everything changed. The contract, which had a strict liability clause, was suddenly terminated by breach of LC confirmation by Zenith Bank after receiving payments which it deducted from the company account. It refused to confirm. And funds belonging to the company, which was entrusted to the bank, suddenly disappeared, unaccounted for. And years of effort collapsed overnight, automatically activating the liability clause of the contract. I have reached out privately for resolution. I have contacted lawyers, human rights advocates, and even the authorities, but no one has been willing to take this matter seriously. So I am speaking out today, not just for myself, but for every Nigerian who has ever been silenced by a systematic justice system, by powerful institutions, where all they wanted was fairness and justice. I don't seek pity, I seek accountability. I believe that the truth deserves to be heard, and I'll continue to speak up until justice is done. In a series of upcoming videos, I will present clear and undeniable evidence of what transpired.
get right into it, and our guest joins us from our Abuja studio. Mr. Kenneth Okonkwo is a legal practitioner, chieftain of the ADC, amongst many other hats that he wears. Welcome, Mr. Okonkwo, to the Morning Brief.
Thank you very much, and thank you, viewers. Good morning for joining us.
Now, I'm looking at that list, Mr. Okonkwo, of 9 senators, I believe, who have defected to the ADC, and quite a number of House of Reps members as well. And it's curious. Some names, you know, are quite understandable. Traditionally, they would have gone to the ADC. Senator Ereti Kingibe, for instance, Senator Aminu Tambuwa, for instance. But there are some other names that you would have, you know, thought if they ever defected, perhaps they would go to the All Progressives Congress. Senator Mohammed Ogoshionao, who traditionally won on the platform of the PDP and in fact defeated, surprisingly, you know, a powerful contender in 2019, I believe, Senator Binus Dauda Yaroe. And so my question is, doubling down on what we asked our guests, our newspaper review guests, what gave for this mass movement to the ADC? Did anything exchange hands?
Well, well, we are not APC. We don't have powers to give. We don't have resources to give. It's not even within our reach because we are not the ruling power. But the truth is that ADC, the African Democratic Congress, is today the leading opposition party. I said this thing long time ago, that PDP, LP, other parties are not viable, that the opposition leaders and parties should do themselves good to form a coalition. And when they coalesce, they will be able to deal with APC that has constituted itself as an enemy of democracy and certainly enemy of the welfare of the people. So the coalition and the opposition parties came together and chose ADC as a vehicle to represent the Nigerian people's aspiration for a new Nigeria, a better Nigeria, a great Nigeria that will cater for their security and welfare, something that is alien to APC as a political party. You will see more of the politicians joining us soon, and APC will soon be history by the grace of God.
The big picture is 2027, really. And if we went by the test that has, you know, gone for the ADC in most recent elections, we could talk about the Anambra election. We could even refer to the most recent area council election in the Federal Capital Territory. The ADC performed woefully. And so if that is the litmus test for the ADC, there's no structure on ground for, you know, throughout the 36 states of the Federation for us to point to the expectancy of a big performance for the ADC in the presidential election. So is the ADC planning to fail in 2027?
Well, thank you for that question. I can tell you that the David Mark-led NWC had not come into existence when the candidates of ADC were chosen for those elections. If you recall, in Anambra State, even some of our leaders campaigned for parties other than ADC. So do not judge us by those elections. FCT election was a sham. There was no election. In an election that you restricted people from moving to go and vote, what is there remaining? An election that was conducted under an unknown law. What is there to do? So an election that people were caught by EFCC carrying money around. Meanwhile, Wike was restricting the opposition from moving, and they were moving as they liked, from polling unit to polling unit, interfering in the election. Wike was not an elected person in FCT. He was not the INEC official. He was not a security agency. As far as I'm concerned, he had no business in the polling unit. Against the law, they interfered in the election. that FCT municipal election was a sham. It should not be counted as an election at all. So we are still coalescing. You can see that the journey towards removing APC has just begun. 9 senators, innumerable number of representatives, and you can see how Senator Akpabio is double speaking in everything that he's doing. Let me take you down to memory lane. In August 8, 2018, Senator Godswill Akpabio defected from PDP to APC. And when there was a case against him, because there was no division in PDP then, when there was a case against him to vacate his seat, he went to the Federal High Court under Justice Okon Abang and presented a letter of expulsion from his ward chairman, Ntiedo Osoro, that they expelled him. And having expelled him, that he has the right, by freedom of association, Section 40, to join another political party. And the Federal High Court agreed with him that Section 68 1G would not affect any member of the National Assembly that changes his party and joins another one because he was expelled. And of course, it was a lie, because the public secretary of PDP then in Akwa Ibom, Inni Ememobong, said that Akpabio conspired with the ward chairman, telling transparent lie, shamelessly, to illegally issue him the letter that PDP did not expel him. But yet, the court accepted, since there was evidence of expulsion. This same Akpabio, sitting as Senate President, is questioning Senator Abaribe, who was expelled by APGA and joined ADC. Akpabio should know we've had it enough. Even by the precedent APC has set for himself, for themselves, by Akpabio, they can't even keep the precedent. The law is settled because there has been a judicial interpretation that if a party expels you, Section 68 1G will not operate against you, because declaring your seat vacant when you expelled is preventing you from exercising your freedom of association. And let me note again, Honorable Ikweche, Alex Mascot of the House of Representatives, a member of APGA, defected to APC, giving no reason that we even know. Nobody troubled him. Nobody harassed him. Enough of this intimidation and manipulation by Senator Akpabio that his party then, PDP, described as transparent liar and shameless manipulator. So please, all our senators and members of the House of Representatives and members of the House of Assembly coming into ADC, they should be allowed to rest. Members have defected from all political parties to APC. If their sins are forgiven, then let everybody keep quiet. We've had enough. Enough is enough for Akpabio, the shameless liar. By in the Ememobong, not my words. And of course, you can see that APC has even shown itself, the world round, that they are transparent liars. You saw what their presidential spokesperson did. Yes.
I'm going to have to ask you to tone down on your use of language against other politicians, particularly because they're not here to defend themselves. Using such language on the Senate president could have implications. But I yield the floor now to my colleague, Jeffrey.
Yes, thank you very much. I was quoting the source of my information. They were not my words. They were the words of Inni Ememobong, the publicity secretary of PDP.
Yes, I guess you understand what we're saying. So that if they're here, you know.
I do understand.
Yes, so that we can just flow through. As you said, yes, Mascot, I think, defected from APGA to the APC, if I'm correct, and now Senator Baribe. So we, you know, sometimes it's quite difficult to understand how the law works in Nigeria when it comes to these defections. So perhaps maybe we have to adopt what plays out maybe in places like Ghana, that it's irrespective of what your decision is. As soon as you defect, lose your seat. So that all of this multiple court interpretation and perhaps what is seen as selective declarations will be sorted. But I want to play a video for you to make sense of it. The president has spoken at one of the Breaking of the Fast event. Take a listen to him, then I'll come back to you.
Was against me years past. I told the line. I was in opposition without a threat to any human being except military junta. And I want democracy. We are guided by the same law, no difference. That I signed the Electoral Act. I have no choice. I don't want to throw the country into turmoil of argument of nothing. There is an overwhelming majority by the National Assembly that passed the law. If I have serious question or reservation about it, I will have raised it, but I have not. I have submitted myself to the principle of rule of law, democracy. I signed. The rest is history. We meet at the polls. The game is sweet. Only when you are winning.
Mr. Okonkwo, the reason I played that, two things I want you to address. The president said, despite the agitation from persons like you and other civil society and every other person, he didn't see anything wrong with the Electoral Act. On the other hand, he said, look, I don't know what you guys are talking about. This is a game. When I was in the opposition, the game did against me. Now I'm in leadership. The game is the game. I'm winning, and it's sweet when I'm winning. What do you make of the president's statement?
Well, if anybody wins through righteousness, through democratic principles in a democracy, I will applaud the person. But you want to believe the speech of a president that told you openly that his own method is to snatch power by force, to grab it, to fight for it and run away with it. And you're believing him? Transparent lie. He's trying to say he's following democratic principles. El-Rufai is still in detention. 48 hours is what a government has to keep anybody in detention without granting him bail. No, you don't have that power. And you don't have the power, according to Supreme Court judgment, to keep somebody in detention and pretend you are investigating. No. The whole idea of arrest is that you have concluded your investigation and you have found the person culpable for any crime you are alleging he committed. That somebody said anything does not give you the right to go and arrest somebody, because in criminal proceeding, it is the duty of the prosecution to prove the guilt of the suspect, not the suspect to defend his innocence. So please, the first thing he should do is to release El-Rufai. And we're not saying he should not face trial, no. But his fundamental human rights should be guaranteed. And we believe that he is being maltreated, he is being persecuted because he has joined ADC. And we are not exculpating anybody, but it is the court of law that should decide, not the gulag of President Tinubu. And for now, he is using his authority as the commander-in-chief to use the instrumentality of the anti-corruption in quotes, because I wonder whether there is any commission fighting corruption in Tinubu's regime to hunt down.
Mr. Okonkwo, if I may comment, my apologies. Are you alleging that the president has a hand in what is going on with Nasser El-Rufai? He's the president. ICPC, EFCC, DSS, they are agencies of government. They have their thing to do. How is the president involved in this?
Well, he just said agencies of government. Whose government? Whose regime? He is the head, the commander-in-chief of the armed forces. And so anything the agencies are doing, the buck stops at his table. That's why I'm not saying that El-Rufai should not be tried by the courts. The court is the only power that has the power to deliver judgment. And you cannot go to courts to get an order to say they should allow you to investigate And the courts should not be giving such orders because it's against the constitutional provision of fundamental human rights. You are entitled to your liberty, you are entitled to your dignity. So no court should be giving orders for somebody who has not committed any capital offense to be detained indefinitely. That is illegal. And any such order is unconstitutional. So what I'm saying is that if El-Rufai committed any crime, please bring him to trial, grant him bail, so that if he's convicted, fine. Nobody in ADC is quarreling against rule of law. But for a president that has elicited that he's going to grab power, snatch it and run away with it, pretending that he's democratic, that is really another transparent lie.
All right. Mr. Okonkwo, let's take a close look at the ADC now, with you in the mix. A few years back, 2022, before the election, Nigerians watched, how you glowingly and in flowery language spoke for the Labour Party, and specifically for the aspiration of the presidential candidate at the time, Mr. Peter Obi. And months down the line, after the elections had been fought and won and lost, we saw again in surprise how you jettisoned the Labour Party and in fact criticized Mr. Peter Obi for what you described as his failure of leadership to hold the Labour Party together. Now, you are in the ADC with Mr. Peter Obi. As a matter of fact, while you were in the LP, some of those in the ADC now are those that you couldn't have touched with a 10-foot pole. And I'm talking about, just to mention a few names, El-Rufai that you just mentioned, who was in the APC at the time, the former Minister of Interior, who is now in the ADC, Rauf Aregbesola. Those are the politicians that you are now working with in the ADC. And some would describe this as a marriage of strange bedfellows. And so why should we take you seriously? In fact, why should Nigerians take the politicians in that mix seriously because of their antecedents and what many consider just their attempts to grab power?
Oh, well, first and foremost, your narrative looks more fictional than factual, because in Nigerian constitution grants everybody freedom to join any political party of his choice. So you don't even have any right to stop anybody from joining any political party. If you had been following me, my philosophy is that I don't use the word never, because never belongs to God. So I do not know where you got the fact that I, who is a practicing Christian, will not want to deal with anybody with a long spoon if the person so wants to associate with me on the terms that I choose to associate with. People,
Mr. Okonkwo,
people change. Yes.
Do you deny that you criticized the APC administration while you worked for the Labour Party at the time? Do you deny that?
Is it possible for me to deny that? Is it
so the records are there?
Evident.
So the records are there.
As a member of the opposition party, that's what I'm saying.
So you're now working. You're now working with some of those politicians now.
My words are my words. No. My words are my words, and they stand firm forever. The whole idea of opposition is to criticize the ruling party. My job is to criticize the policies of the ruling party and profile alternative to their policies, a better alternative. And so I criticize even ADC. If ADC does what is wrong, I will criticize the hell out of them. I am interested in a better Nigeria for the security and welfare of the people. As a politician, I am working for the people of Nigeria. I have said it that my loyalty does not lie with a political party or a politician, but to the people of Nigeria. Anybody that does what is wrong, I will criticize the hell out of that person.
All right, Mr. Okonkwo, let's project into the future.
Even myself, not excluded.
Yeah, I'm happy you admitted to that effect, and I think everybody should be open to that criticism. Let's project into the future. 2027 is just by the corner. The primaries will be here. April the 23rd to May the 30th is the window for all of that to happen. And I'm curious to see whether or not, for instance, the PDP, for instance, looks to those of us who are watching more like a party that may end up participating than contending. So if we assume that the ADC is the next alternative to contend power with the APC in the next election, talk to us about what it is that you will do differently to give you an opportunity or a chance to even be able to wrestle power. Because it seems a bit surprising that people are exhibiting surprise as to the strategy of whoever is in charge of government. So, for instance, if you have followed the trajectory of Bola Tinubu, the president, you see that one of the toughest elections he faced was the last election. He's faced other elections that were tough, but the 2023, his party was, some people in his party didn't want him to get a ticket. Eventually got the ticket and he won the election. Well, people can debate all of that, but at least the court has confirmed it. He won that election. And if you look at his antecedent in Lagos State, so it looks like when he's in charge, because of his future aspiration, it tactically immobilizes the opposition. They can be there, but they're just participants. Did the ADC, are they studying the tactics of this man and his party to be able to know how to respond, to give them a chance in 2027 election, if you get my drift?
Yes. Well, first of all, I disagree with you that it's an assumption that ADC is the leading opposition party. It's no longer an assumption. When I came into this place, you, by quantitative and arithmetic method, showed that we have more people now as elected in the House, national or state. So it's no longer an assumption. ADC is the only opposition party. And anybody going into 2027, and you're not a member of ADC, with profound respect to that person, you are a pretender, not a contender for the 2027 election. Having said that, we are going to do everything different from APC if we come to power. Taking the issue of security, we are not going to do lip service to the issue of state police. State police will be granted immediately we come into power, because we acknowledge that we need more boots on the ground. And the federal government does not have the wherewithal to cover all the ungoverned spaces in Nigeria. This government has been playing lip service to the issue of state police. The government that has re-amended the amended and repealed Electoral Act within 1 month. The government that gave national anthem, the law, passed it within 1 day or 2 days. The government that passed complicated tax laws is telling you that it is the legislature that should talk about state police. No, Tinubu does not want state police. He wants to use the federal police to intimidate and manipulate people in 2027. If he wants state police, he will get it today, because APC has 2/3 majority of the National Assembly and has more than 30 governors that are in charge of the House of Assembly members. They should stop playing politics with the lives of Nigerians. ADC, by Article 3 of our Constitution, is committed to the pursuit of the welfare of Nigerians and welfare of our people. The welfare of the nation is our principal objective by our Constitution. So we are going to pursue the welfare of the people. Look at oil price now, going to $100 per barrel. This government will be more interested in selling into the international community to get more dollars to fund their corrupt activities, rather than supplying Dangote the needed crude oil to reduce the price for Nigerians. We will not go that way. The welfare of the people will be the first consideration. ADC, in the issue of economy, we feel embarrassed that Naira is still 1,400 and something Naira. And this government is saying it is stable. No, it's not stable. The economy has stagnated, because nobody ever thought that Naira was going to be depreciated by more than 1,000 Naira. So we're going to do something differently. In the issue of security, in the issue of welfare, in the issue of the economy, in the issue of respecting the fundamental human rights of Nigerians, we will not intimidate or manipulate Nigerians or anybody because you differ from us. We have the enough intellectual power to confront you word to word. We have the enough intellectual integrity to meet you on the issue of democratic principles. Not going to lie. Not going to lie in Al Jazeera, even denying what we are seeing with our own eyes. This government has become a caricature in international community as transparent liars. And remember, a court in Canada confirmed that they are a terrorist organization. How do you run away from such party except to chase them out democratically from Nigeria in 2027? ADC is going to form the next government of the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
Mr. Konkwa.
Inshallah. As I say, Ramadan Mubarak for our Muslim brothers.
All right. Mr. Konkwa, speaking of what the ADC will do differently, but this time ahead of the elections, there are reports that your party is now choosing to pick its candidate via consensus instead of going the way of costly primaries, direct primaries. So I'd like you to give us an insight into how that will turn out. And I'd like to add this. If Mr. Peter Obi was to receive the resounding support of party members, would you support him?
Yes. It's as simple as that. Whoever emerges
in spite of your reservations of his leadership style in the Labour Party, you would support him?
Yes, because then he has emerged as the presidential candidate of the political party ADC, for which I belong. And then whatever reservation I had about his personal inadequacies will be compensated by the collective will and collective pool of the resources, human and materials, of the entire ADC. If the ADC so chooses that he will be our candidate. I still have my reservations and I stand on them, but that inadequacy will be compensated by the collective pool. That's why I said all the politicians should come together. Let's pool our resources together. No one politician has what it takes to confront Tinubu, the incumbent president that has vowed to snatch power by force. But when all of them work together, then they will have their inadequacies and they will go and defeat Tinubu at the polls.
Mr. Konkwa, let me put you on the spot. Tinubu,
go ahead.
Says,
I am already on the spot. This heat is very hot.
Tinubu is, President Tinubu, I should say, has 31 governors, record numbers. We may be expecting one or two more before the entire thing is over. Numbers of over 18 senators, and you have all the numbers now. Now, if you were to do a pairing, because Nigerians vote not necessarily for party, they vote for persons. If you were to do a pairing within the collective of the ADC as we speak, that will give Tinubu, President Tinubu, a run for his money, give us two persons you think will go and give him a run. Will president and vice presidential candidate in your party?
I am a member of the National Working Committee of ADC. My job is to provide a level playing field for all the aspirants to contest under ADC, and whoever emerges, I will support. And I can tell you that any two people that emerges from ADC as president and vice will perform better than Tinubu. So my recommendation, the two people I recommend to you, are the two people that will fly the flag of ADC. And until ADC produces those two people, I have never told you I'm a prophet. I would not know.
So
thank you.
But Mr. Okonkwo, will the ADC be picking a southern candidate? Is this zoning the presidency to the south?
Now, I don't want you to fall into the transparent lie of APC. In 2022-2023, when rotation was even one of our cardinal points of the fight, APC zoned the presidential ticket to the north. They zoned it to Senator Lawan by the proclamation of the national chairman of APC, Senator Abdullahi Adamu. Tinubu had to rebel against his party to insist that he will run. And he ran and defeated APC with their undemocratic leanings. That is why today APC is behaving like a defeated party under the pocket and inside the pocket of Tinubu because he defeated them. So when APC is lying to Nigerians that they produced a southern candidate in 2022-2023 in respect of zoning, that is a lie. Because the southern candidate contested in a free and fair primary election and defeated and snatched the power from APC and became president. Now, in 2027, PDP, of course, did not zone at all. Even when Atiku Abubakar said that the justice of the situation is that this should be zoned to southeast. That if you zone this to southeast, he will not contest. Yet, they did not listen to him. They said they will not zone because they thought Wike will win. So PDP did not zone, APC zoned to the north in 2022, 2023. Now in 2027, we're expecting an opposition party that wants the buy-in of every sector of Nigeria and all Nigerians. To zone? No. In 2015, Tinubu had Jonathan from South-South that had not finished 8 years. What happened? He aligned with the North. They did not zone it to the North. He aligned with the North and used the North to remove incumbent Jonathan that had not spent 8 years to complete the ration of the South-South. And then, 8 years after, he blackmailed APC that they should remember they had an agreement that he should become president after 8 years that he supported the Northerners. That is the foundation of the principle of a Miloko. So what I'm trying to tell you is that ADC in 2027, our interest is in removing Tinubu from office to grant and guarantee security and welfare of Nigerians. And we will grant level playing field to every aspirant from wherever you come from, north or south. And whoever will produce will join the person to win Tinubu. So anybody, whether you're Southerner or Northerner, if you are strong enough to beat Tinubu, beat all your colleagues in the primary.
We're totally out of time. Great conversation we had with you, but it looks like your party is still having leadership tussle, because I'm seeing here that the appeal court is dismissing Senator Mark's case in the ADC dispute. So is there still cases you're still dealing with the leadership?
That what?
Appeal court dismissing Senator Mark's case in the ADC leadership. I think that happened yesterday. Over something that happened at the trial court. Are you aware of it?
Trial court dismisses. I know that there was a case by Ibe Kachukwu, that was dismissed in our favor. If that is the one you are referring to, that's the one I'm aware of.
He had filed, the Court of Appeal in Abuja dismissed an appeal filed by former Senate President David over the ongoing leadership crisis. In a unanimous judgment delivered on Thursday, the three-member panel comprising of all of these judges are listed for being incompetent after upholding a preliminary objection challenging the court's jurisdiction. It's something that propped up yesterday. I wanted to be sure whether you're aware of it.
No, I am not aware of it now as I talk to you. Okay. So I wouldn't be able to comment on it. But I'm aware that the one brought by Kachukwu and all the surrogates of APC have been witnessing judicial terrible ends, as all the remaining ones will witness.
All right.
So whatever is the case, ADC is sound, built on solid foundation, and we will continue until we take out this incompetent government and corrupt government of APC. All right. Senator Ndume referred to as government of kakistocrats and kleptocrats, government of thieves and government of the worst of us. I didn't say so. Senator Ndume, their senator said so.
Minister Okonkwo, the coming days will test that solid foundation that you say is currently holding sway in the ADC, and we'll be back to remind you whether or not the solid foundation is the case. But we hope indeed that it is the case. We need opposition, to our politicking in the country. Mr. Kenneth Okonkwo is a legal practitioner. He is also a chieftain of the African Democratic Congress, and of course, a Nollywood actor. Mr. Kenneth Okonkwo, thank you for coming on the Morning Brief.
I appreciate it.
We'll take a moment now. When we return, it will be time to discuss more politics, this time with a view to looking at what's playing out in Ondo State. Stay with us, we'll be right back.
I am the Managing Director of Owix and Obix Nigerian Limited. For years, I have worked hard to secure a $64 million international contract. A deal that would have changed not just my life, but created opportunities for many Nigerians. The contract was signed and the funds secured by LC were sent through Zenith Bank, Nigerian PLC, after an agreement between my company and Zenith Bank as a paymaster for the guaranteed contract. But shortly after the secured funds arrived, the unexpected happened. The bank began to make new financial demands that were never part of our original agreement. When I refused to grant those demands, everything changed. The contract, which had a strict liability clause, was suddenly terminated by breach of LC confirmation by Zenith Bank after receiving payments which it deducted from the company account. It refused to confirm. And funds belonging to the company, which was entrusted to the bank, suddenly disappeared, unaccounted for. And years of effort collapsed overnight, automatically activating the liability clause of the contract. I have reached out privately for resolution. I have contacted lawyers, human rights advocates, and even the authorities, but no one has been willing to take this matter seriously. So I am speaking out today, not just for myself, but for every Nigerian who has ever been silenced by a systematic justice system, by powerful institutions, where all they wanted was fairness and justice. I don't seek pity. I seek accountability. I believe that the truth deserves to be heard. And I'll continue to speak up until justice is done. In a series of upcoming videos, I will present clear and undeniable evidence of what transpired.
From the streets of Amber, across the deep blue sea, a message for the children, for you and for me. Obinwannem is calling, can you hear the sound? The roots of our fathers are being found. We know they forget where we come from. The strength of a lion, the beat of the drum. Ofu Obi, one heart. Obinwannem united we achieve. Ofu Obi, restoring the culture, that's what we believe. From the Ordinala to the Asusu we speak, lifting the fallen, helping the weak. Obinwannem worldwide, the movement is here. Umoibo global, raise your head high. Our Menala will never, ever die. It's more than a page, it's a spiritual home. No matter how far in this world you roam, we're bringing back the wisdom, the tradition, the grace, putting the smile back on the Igbo face. A high energy. Follow the way, Obinwannem is leading the day. Keep the fire burning, keep the language strong. This is where we all belong.
Again, it fades out with a final celebration.
Obinwannem Global Radio, promoting the culture and traditions of Igbo nation. Obinwannem Igbo Global Cultural Movement Foundation.
Obinwannem Igbo Global Cultural Movement Foundation.
Ebumnobi anyị
iweghachite ugwu na nsọpụrụ ahụ eji mara ndị Igbo n'ala Igbo.
Ime ka ihe ndị ahụ eji mara ndị Igbo chawapụta dịka ugo site n'inwe mmụọ nkwado na ịhụkọrịta onwe anyị n'anya.
Ịhụ na ahụhụ na mkpagbu dum anyị gabigara na mgbe gara aga bụzi nke echefuru echefu maka otito na ọdịmma nke ọdịnihu ndị Igbo.
Ịkwalite ọdịmma ndị Igbo site n'igosi ịdịkọ n'otu na agamnihu.
Ịhụ na ndị Igbo jikọtara onwe ha dịka ukwu asịsa were ofu obi na-arụkọ ọrụ iji hụ na njirimara na omenala ndị Igbo na-achawapụta ka ihe na mba ụwa.
Ịkpọlitekwa mmụọ ndị Igbo ka obi sie ha ike ma na-anụ ha ọkụ n'inwetazu ebumnobi ha dị mma maka ọdịmma ndị Igbo n'ala Igbo.
N'ikpeazụ, ịhụ na onweghị nwa afọ Igbo ọbụla gaala azụ na mbọ ahụ a na-agba maka agamnihu ọdịmma na nkwụdosi ike ndị Igbo.
Maka ajụjụ na ihe ndị ọzọ ị chọrọ ịmata gbasara ebumnobi anyị,
kpọọ Director Nwa Chineke Okechukwu Ugwu